besides limiting factor, resources are limiting factors, diseases are limiting factors, other organisms, there's actually a formula that determines population change. So who could give me the 4 parts that can determine population of this class? How could the population of this class change? Yes.
Look good today, Mr.
Oh, death. Thank you. What else?
You're a disease.
Birth. Well, disease, if it led to death, would a birth.
Limited resource.
What else? What can change the population of this class besides somebody dying?
Disease.
How?
Babies being made.
Okay, we got, guys, focus. We've got births, we've got deaths. What else can change the population of this class?
Leaving the area.
Us.
People moving.
Good.
Natural disaster.
Immigration and emigration. People moving in or out of the class. Not necessarily out of the school, but out of the class. And the formula is birth plus IMI, which is coming in, I for IMI, I for in, minus
Death and Emmy.
death plus IMI. Good.
Don't change.
If we use the formula migration versus natural increase, if we use the formula birth and death only, that's what they call natural increase. I said this incorrectly. If you take migration into consideration, then you have a whole population change formula. But if you see the word natural increase, so you can underline this word right here. If we reference this, we are only referencing birth minus death. You're not taking into consideration migration at all.
What is birth less death?
From now until a couple of days, we're going to go over different ways that scientists calculate populations. They literally, for predicting the future growth, this is what this is for. They look at trends and then they predict future growth. So this is called an age structure diagram. And this diagram, basically, I'm going to zoom into one, is always going to have male and female. It's going to have what they call distribution of ages at specific times. So all the blues is 0 to 14. All the green is 15 through 44. And all the pink is 45 through 85. The way they reference this is pre-reproductive, reproductive, and post-reproductive. So you want to consider that if you are between the pre-reproductive and reproductive years of your life, and there's a large population of people in that range, the population is going to grow rapidly. If you have a large population of people here, that means a lot of people can have babies. So they consider this rapid growth. So there are labels for you. Pre-reproductive 0 to 14, reproductive 15 through 44, and post 45 to 85. Now this population right here, what do you think is going to happen to the population? Growth.
They live longer.
Well, it's not that they live longer. If you have a large population, in this case, you have a large population of babies and a large population of people in their reproductive years, you predict that the population is going to grow fast. What do you predict from these countries that have average reproductive average? Who could tell me? So the first diagram is countries like less developed countries, okay, where there's a large population of people in the reproductive years or babies. There's a very high death rate, so you see very few people live past 45, okay, both male and female. So you predict as a scientist that the population is going to grow quickly because you have so many people in the age of having babies. If you look at the second graph, you have kind of average reproductive with pre-reproductive, and the death rates are dropping. So the population is going to grow slower because there's going to be less deaths, predicted by scientists. I'm sorry, less births.
If put.
And in the third population, which is really, let's say, developed countries, or more developed countries, what do you think is gonna happen to the population there?
They gonna stay the same?
It's gonna stay the same.
They gonna die and
No growth.
babies?
Because they're even throughout. And this again is a form of scientists predicting population growth. It's not necessarily the case. Because we are a developed country and we grow exponentially. So it's still not really a factor because there's still a significant amount of people in this range that are having babies.